Alrighty, today is October 15th. I'm excited to discuss politics, current events with my new friend Howard here. How are you doing today, Howard?
I'm doing good, doing good. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You are based in New Orleans, correct?
Yes.
How is New Orleans at this time of
Oh,
year?
well, right now I say it's starting to feel like fall, but like about a week or so ago, it was still felt like the ends of summer. So
Yeah.
it's like it's bipolar.
Yeah, I last week here in DC. I'm currently in DC right now. Last week here in DC, it was like started really getting cold. It was like 50 degrees in the morning, and then it would get to like low 70s by the afternoon, like late afternoon. So I could tell that fall has definitely creeped in because like I'm originally from Atlanta, and
Mm,
it's hot all the way until like December, and even then
yes.
sometimes. So, yeah, this is like it's like a new feeling because like I think in Atlanta right now, I saw it was like 80 something degrees
Yeah,
already.
like it's and humidity down there too. So
The humidity in Atlanta is awful. I I love the fact that I'm away from that now, but DC is also very humid. I don't know.
mm,
Have you heard like the term like drain the swamp?
yeah.
That apparently there's a reason, and it in part it is literally, and then part it's like theoretically, but
Mm.
apparently we are built on a swamp. Like the Hudson River, not Hudson River, but the Potomac River like is right here. We got the ocean right here. Like
It's like right there in the middle.
we're literally built on a swamp, and it gets very humid during the summer. I moved up here earlier this summer, and it was like miserable. I hated it. But it's now starting to cool down, and like the weather outside is like perfect for me. It's like perfect sweater weather. It's not too cold, it's not too hot anymore, and there's no humidity right now, so it's like really nice.
Yeah, I call it that. What's it called? I call it that hocus pocus weather. Yeah, you can sit there, yeah, have some fun with it.
Oh man. All right. So I want to hear your general thoughts about the Trump administration right now, up to date. It is officially October. We're about 9 months into the administration. How do you feel like Donald Trump is doing? How do you feel like this administration is doing? Where are you at mentally with all of this?
Well, I say mentally, I'm still on the beach, having mimosas. Still not worrying about anything that's going on in the free world. But we gotta come back to reality. But no, with that, I mean to be in a second term was crazy to do that because I think we're the only generation so far to have three three second terms, like all each president, and
Oh yeah.
like I say, not even just with that format, that's to see like the different establishments work. Like I say, being young, growing up under the Bush administration, you see certain like similarities and everything like with the Trump administration now. Then also like now coming of age when we had the Obama era, like when I'm able to vote. Everything now you're seeing certain changes, but I feel like with the the state of the Trump administration now, it is to the point of, I mean, he's in there doing what he said he was going to say. I mean, do what he's going to say, and he said he was going to take away a lot of these programs. He said he was going to get a lot of, I mean, hate to say it in a cliche way, but like get the freeloaders out the way, get all this and that, and I mean, as a president, he's sticking to his word. But then I say, as the human side to me, I'm like, man, this sounds like the Donald Trump that was on Apprentice. And so like it's like you can tell
Yeah.
it's a lot of hostility that he been waiting to, not hostility, but it's a lot of like I want to say moves he been waiting to make, and now he's in the position to make them now again. And I think it's again it's a pro and a con. So
Yeah, I've been finding it very fascinating just hearing how he's been moving, especially these past like 9 months. I feel like he's gone so much faster and signed so many more executive orders than his first term. Like, I mean, I don't remember this many executive orders and this fast pace of like moving on things that he, wanted to deliver for his entire first administration. Like the amount that he's accomplished within the first like 9 months of this administration is more than he did for the first year. And like some might find that good. I've been skeptical myself. I think that like as a president, I think that there are certain things that you do have to take into account, and then certain
Mhm.
things that you have to, know what you're getting into. And I think that he has just done like with the blanket tariffs. I think that they said that we are at the lowest hiring rate or lowest job creation since 2009. There's only been a little over 200,000 jobs that have been created this year so far, and this is the lowest since 2009. I see like the stock market is going up, stock market is going down whenever he tweets something. I wish that he had more concise plan because like I'm somebody that's actively invested in the stock market.
Exactly. Like,
I
and that's
watch.
what I mean. A lot of people don't understand it goes way beyond just like with the politics now because it goes into the way of living. And I mean, like, again, a lot of these daughters he dropping back to back like the Kendrick and Drake beef. Really, it's really back and forth. And like how you saying too, like especially with the fluctuation, like when money is in play, you have so many of these companies and everything. Like, okay, every time you say something, okay, or hey, do we have to hurry up and buy all of this to now he could just sit here and say one day, well, hey, I don't want to mess with Apple. And you can really see if that could make a turn or a trade. And it's scary that a president can have that type of power, especially with commercial use of like, like what we do with the stock and not having just that, but like with trading and not and but just future like financial steps. Like I understand, yes, you want to help the economy and everything, but again, how you say, it's different ways and levels to do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of crazy because like um when he worked out a certain deal with China so that Nvidia could start selling their H2000 chips, H21 chips, whatever it is, where like he wants 10% of 10% of sales that are made to China from those H21 chips from Nvidia. Like what I learned is like Donald Trump is the pay to play president, right? He's giving them an exemption from the tariffs as long as they give him a percentage of the profit that they're making.
That's
Um,
called pimping.
yeah. Yeah. That I want to get back to politics really quickly, but you mentioned the Drake and Kendrick thing. Did you see that Drake's lawsuit got dismissed last week?
Yes, I heard one of my favorite comedian friends. He made a joke about it. Said that's the first time he ever seen both sides of the spectrum lose. And at first I didn't understand it. I'm like, oh man, okay, yeah, he lost in the hip hop community, and then with the court side, I'm like, yeah, that's you got to sit down, man. Man,
Yeah.
I'm really seeing that. Like,
Yeah. Who who were you going for in that beef? I'm just
to
curious.
be honest, I mean, because again, I am a fan, and I heard got this question many times. I'm a fan of both, but to come into the era, because especially being from the West Coast, I was born in Vegas and everything, so it's already okay. Like you got that West Side bond and everything, but I grew up on Drake, like literally, I grew up with him, watching him on Degrassi, all the way to like watching him with his like first track that came out.
Yeah.
So it's like it was a different type of I guess like bonding moment. But then I'm sitting there, it's conflict of interest now because again you got two people that you like. It's like again two siblings going against each other. You're like, yeah, okay, he got you this time, he got you that time. But no, and at first I was rooting for Drake. Don't get me wrong,
Okay.
but as the battle progressed, I went to Kendrick. Kendrick, he brought it to hip hop. He killed him with grace,
Yeah.
and that's like the biggest thing you could ever do, like in this hip hop community, especially like the way the jabs they was throwing. I mean, livelihoods was all at stake. Like it was a modern day like Tupac and Biggie situation. How I
Yeah.
felt, and I felt like they had like positive reinforcements now with this instead of like with guns, all this, and like violence. They all settled it with the words, and
Yeah.
Drake tried to do it with court, but
Yeah. I would rather go to court than somebody bring a gun and bring violence to that. So
exactly.
I consider that a win regardless.
Yes,
But
and I think both of them, man, they both got millions of views on their streams, and that's why I'm like, that's the win for hip hop
yeah,
because
I think that J. Cole was the ultimate winner of that because Kendrick got painted as a woman abuser, and then Drake got painted as a pedophile, and then J. Cole was just
in the middle, like, hey, I'm chilling, like,
yeah,
ain't
exactly.
nobody, I'm growing my hair out doing Dreamville, ain't nobody gonna worry about that. I see what J. Cole going about. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm growing my hair.
Yeah.
Just stay out the drama.
That peace and prosperity. I feel that. Yeah.
Mm.
Like me being half black, half white myself. I'm like, people are like, oh, are you going for Drake on this? I'm just like,
It's all-
I'm K dot all the way. I think that
and I mean, it's no, and like I said, that's what like it makes the feel because again, like growing up on both, like you see the similarities, and you can see, okay, hey, this is what makes them in their own lane, and especially like with again when it comes to the caliber of like when you have the music speak for itself. The music is going to speak. You got one man's diss song like they did with Ice Cube. No Vaseline was on the radio and everything going around.
yeah.
The same happened with Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us. And
Yeah.
that I mean that's a feat right there. They try to play Drake songs like his diss tracks he did like every time like he dropped one or so, but it didn't get to that height that like it made it to radio play.
Yeah, like Not Like Us was just, I mean, it was, I think everyone expected Drake to put out a Not Like Us, like that catchy pop tune that like everyone could get behind.
Mm-hmm.
And like when Kendrick ended up executing on it, and not only executing on it, like like he literally called him not only a pedophile, said that he was, he's like a minor. I was like, when that came out, I I remember I initially listened to it. I paused it immediately after I heard the A minor part, and I was just like, there's nothing Drake can do at this point that is going to save him or rectify anything that just happened because Kendrick went for his throat and he crushed him.
That's like with Ice Cube. Ice Cube, what he said to he said about Jerry Heller, he made the Jew reference and
Yeah.
everything, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" And like, this is on the radio, and
Yeah.
you had people like really sitting there, then like, yeah, you had people of the Jewish community like, "Yo, we didn't do anything," like, and I mean, but it's just like the same, like with the when you make a cultural like a cultural movement like that, it sucks to say like you don't know the reaction that everybody had because how you say you was having people like the best example I could pick. It was like Team Jacob versus Team Edward. People was
Yes.
ready to sit there and like lose lives over this beef. Like it
Yeah.
was, but then that's what happens when you see when people take it into their own hands. Like I mean, hence time like we talk about with political matters, but like hence
Mhm.
like in the hip hop community when people start to make their own like acquisitions and all this in their head now. Because
Yeah.
again, that's a lyric to some, but to some people, they gonna go deep dive. Okay, hey, no, now, hey, but I'll see why you was hanging out with Millie Brown or like it's stuff like this. Like you gonna really now you got a whole conspiracy thing. Like now people want to either bring harm or so, or and that's what like sucks though with that. Because again, it's the pros and the cons. But yeah,
Yeah.
like but for hip hop, it was a win. And I mean, but
Oh,
I
sure.
know, I know like probably you won't see them on a track again, like how they used to do back in the day. I say just like how we have with Young Thug and YFN Lucci. Like it's just certain calibers you just can't come back from.
Yeah, Drake has always reconciled with every single person that he's beefed with. You look at Meek, he ended up making a song with Meek after their diss. They ended up becoming friends again. Chris Brown was the same thing. Chris Brown, other than Pusha T, which Pusha T was like a different situation because like
Yeah, that's what I say, but like different calibers, you can't. Like I said,
yeah,
once like family, I say family, livelihood, and just the way of life like comes into play. Some people really take that like again a whole different respect. Like I come from the era of love and loyalty,
yeah,
and in that day and age, like a lot of people are going to like show that love and loyalty factor, especially when it comes to things like again when you talk about somebody's kids now. That's how again it goes all out the window. That's why I'm
yeah,
like it's like take it back to like mafia days. Like you never do nothing with the women, nothing with the children.
yeah,
You keep it between the men. But
yeah. That's very true. That is very true. Like, don't go for the family members. Like, that's 100% off limits. But I mean,
what
ultimately,
my grandma gonna do? She ain't gonna sit there and rap. She gonna sit there and
yeah,
try to shoot you. Like now it's a me. Like,
right. No, that's very true. Anyways, let's veer back into politics here. So in your opinion, like, right now the Trump administration has been doing a lot. Do you feel like they're doing enough to hold not a majority, because in all likelihood they're going to lose the majority in the House come these midterms, but do you feel like they're doing enough to at least stay competitive, or do you feel like this is going to be one of those things where you're going to see like more of a massive blue wave because of everything that's been going on?
I mean, again, I go back to history. They say history is always a way to repeat itself. especially in politics. And the best example I could feel like I could show to that, like, is like the Ronald Reagan era. And again, like as you were saying, like with certain laws and everything being in play while he was in office, to like just the favor. Because you remember before Reagan got to office, everybody was just tripping out, like, "Whoa, we don't want this movie star."
Yeah.
Like I said, hence vice it with the same with Trump. Oh, we don't want this man who's just on TV, who's a business baby, all this and that. To now, everybody like sits there and that they're going for this now. So I really feel like again, it's like a pro kind of you're gonna see a rise of blue go with this because that's what happened. Like I mean, they go a flock of a bird. In the best example I can put with that, and I mean, you're gonna have so many people, especially too, like with the situation that happened with the Charlie Kirk. Like it's again like the assassination attempt on Trump. It's gonna be a lot of now like saying like, okay, oh, this was happening while he was still in office. So I feel like that's the famous, I hate to say like token aspect with it, but then
Yeah.
you have like on the other end, like, okay, well, if some of these, laws that he's passing do surpass like what they're talking about doing, like, with the cut down and the cutting off of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Like if they really show numbers of that, like how they really projecting how they want to, that's gonna be having everybody either sitting there being like crickets or either sitting there being like being against the system. But no, I feel like it's I mean, it depends on how the people like react, I guess, to these orders, and not just to these orders, but how they react to the changes.
Yeah. That is true. Do you think, I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think that JD Vance is the next, child of MAGA that they will run, or do you think that they veer away from someone like that?
I mean, the child of Magna who they was trying to get to. I mean, I'm sorry, they just killed him was Charlie. Like I put it in all terms like this: like when you have more power than the president, and I mean, like a lot of people don't. I mean, I know they're gonna hate me for saying this, but I say again, I look at the pros and the cons, especially being in the middle. I
Mhm.
call this stuff like fable. Like when you stay neutral, you really see a lot of times. And I'm like, once they say like, I mean, it was a quote that Hitler did. If you could reach the youth before anybody, that's how you know that you won.
Yeah.
And this man had the youth. Even President Trump said it. Most majority of the people that voted and everything was from young people who was all like catching word of the wind, like I was saying, flocking to this man. Like, hey, you had this man who was your promo manager, basically,
Yeah.
get you to office, and that they was gearing him up to have him. I felt like, well, because again, he had only a couple more years, 35 to be like you could run for president.
Hmm.
So I feel like they was gonna either do a thing with him and Vance. I could see an emotion like that, like how they try to do with the Biden and Harris.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like they was gearing up Kirk of that way, and I mean, but then that drops into the conspiracy theories. I can't talk about too much with that because I
No.
mean, because then you see like it's a whole a whole channel play, and again, you only seen this type again when we had the Kennedys in office, and when we had the Kennedys in office, when we had JFK after he passed away, then you had his brother try to come in, cousin after that, then we
Mhm.
just we got his one of his people now, RFK.
RFK Jr.
Yeah, Junior is like, hey,
is JFK's nephew.
yes, and I'm sitting here now like, well, history repeating itself. I'm like, oh, just like when you're trying to find the next king or so, you got to either keep it in the bloodline or keep a successor that's right there next to you.
Yeah.
But no, I think JD Vance will either be like either in his own stride or what so, but I don't feel like he'll be up to tier like how they're saying like he was the the like the line like the Mufasa to Simba.
Yeah. Okay. You said that there's a conspiracy theory. What do you have a conspiracy theory
Oh
behind?
yes, oh
I would
yes.
I would love to hear that.
Well, this is just coming from my end because again, I know I'm not the sharpest butter knife in the drawer, but I know like you can just smell stuff again. Like I was telling you earlier, when I've been into the realms of like Malcolm X. When you know a person has a certain enough of power to either sit here to change the world or to burn it, there's so much entities that's going to be after that, and that's one thing I was seeing about with Charlie Kirk. He provoked both sides. He either sat there and got you mad enough to sit there and do your research, or he sat there and got you mad enough to sit there and again agree.
Yeah.
It was never to the point of like, cause it wasn't no back and forth with him what I was seeing. And as a political side with that is That's what you need. You
Yeah.
need the stone face. You need just like how Trump is supposed to be going all around and everything. Like he's going back on his word. Charlie Kirk wasn't going to be like that. Charlie Kirk was going to be just like, oh, wait, what I say like, hey, blue collar, this like I hate to say, it, but the born in the USA type of like format,
Yeah.
like, and the conspiracy, like again, they seen that power, and now even this, I feel like he wasn't going with their program, and that's the famous thing, you can never be bigger than the program, and like it sucks to say that I feel like in that turn of tides, like that happened to me because again, it's not ironic that you have this happen again so much in history. JFK, Malcolm X, uh, I even bring up a problem, John Lennon. When you have like turns of tides that you can make a difference with what you're doing,
Hmm.
you're gonna always have an entity that's come out of the blue, either want to take you out, do the famous the Kill a Mockingbird status, like, oh well, something told me to do this from what you do.
Yeah.
All I was in here doing is doing my point of view. Every person in history been doing that. So what makes me a target with this? Because you got too much power with your words, and that's my conspiracy with that. He was starting to talk too much.
Do you think that Tyler Robinson had nothing to do with this?
That was the accused shooter, right?
Yeah.
uh, I don't feel like he made that shot if he never messed with guns. They said like that before. To really be in a, I mean, again, I know people from the military, and I mean, there's that to get a lucky shot like that, how you will say, and a 1 to 10 chance of that, and you never mess with guns like that before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been to many ranges and everything before. Again, being in ROTC, they sit there and teach you how to mess with these rifles and everything. And I really have to say, like, it's always it's a deeper line. Like I was just saying when I was talking to Andrew Callahan, when you have a laptop that nobody else sees, and you're talking about this is all the information that's on it, that's too much power. Somebody knows about it, and but I think Tyler Roberts, he's probably the scapegoat that they all threw on him because especially after he ended up going to jail, you find out what the girl or somebody he was with, like under the movement, they all everything comes out the woodwork, even to the point like, yeah, well, my dad's a cop, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is a show I seen on Netflix. I just watched this, like.
Yeah. I think there was a lot that actually happened with that. Like it was just like one thing after another came out, and I was like, this is very fascinating. So who, if you had to guess, which I feel like you already have an assumption on who was involved, who do you think was the entity or the country that was involved with doing this?
And that's right there. That's what makes my mind ponder. I really have to do like the famous thinker, uh, like pose with it because there's so many parties that could benefit from this,
Hmm. It's true.
and it's the famous like playing Clue. Like somebody got killed, and now who did it? Like again, you have China, you have Russia, you have like so many countries, but then also you have to think about on the within. You have so many turns of tides that would have happened. We're here in our own political system
Hmm.
with, like I say, if the certain party would have, turned from the turning point, no pun intended, and started going like after a political route, that really would have, I feel like, took away a lot of money,
Yeah.
like a lot of money from like all these movements and everything that they're putting into. So
Yeah.
now when you have like it's just like the famous like now when you cut out Planned Parenthood, now what else? What cause now you're gonna look up to, or what cause are you gonna go towards? And it's like it's to cut off the snake
Yeah.
method, basically the head of the snake.
Yeah. Interesting. So you didn't say who.
Oh, because that's I'm still wondering. That's what I'm saying. It's like the famous clue. But if I had to say, like, I feel like it's again, it's more within. Like they you tried it with Trump, and you seen that was the start of the caliber, and now you have a person who wasn't even labeled as a politician. If we're saying that right, he was just as a speaker
Yeah.
labeled as assassinated.
A
And
YouTuber. Yeah.
and that's what's killer to me. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's within because if this was any foreign policy or any like foreign parties, you would already have somebody. I'm not sucking to say like, but take credit for it.
Yeah.
When they had all the stuff happen with 9/11, you've seen You seen Bin Laden and all them. They was right there chilling with beers, like, yo, hey, we did this. When
Yeah.
they had when the stuff with Trump went down, they had certain parties over there, like, yeah, okay, we had something to do with that. All this and that. It's crickets when this man get killed.
Yeah.
Like literally crickets. Nobody on the airline is saying it's taking no form of this or saying like it's all like the famous. I ain't do that shit. You did it. Like what's going on? Shit, like you got him. Like
Yeah.
it's nah.
Yeah. Interesting. I was wondering if you were going to go down the can. Have you watched like some of the stuff that Candace Owens has been
Oh,
saying?
that's no. You heard what I said. Within
Yeah.
what happens a lot of times in these situations? You get backdoored by your best friend. You got to think about that.
But hers is Israel was the one that caused it. I mean, and he was quote unquote leaving the movement for Israel. So like, was it like,
But you got to think though too. Like she now when you have two counterparts, I was supposed to say two counterparts that's under the same caliber, it's like, hey, either one of y'all got to go. And now we're gonna see what that famous starts because it's gonna be the famous watch what you're doing, watch your back, watch just all that and everything. But I'm
yeah,
like, I understand now. Now you're gonna make yourself the martyr now? Are you gonna say you're a target now? Because again, like this is what they do to like have a facade over your eyes, and like just like again, I'm from the hood factor. I've been around too many situations where you thinking it's somebody like. I mean, I'm sorry, I take it away from the hood factor. A lot of these cases that you look at and everything with people that have violence or people that get killed, it's not always random. A lot of these times when somebody get attacked or somebody get hurt, it's from somebody they know,
yeah,
something that they did to them, or somebody like some type of line that it's somewhere they're tied in.
yeah,
And again, you telling me it's still like the only people that pop up with the Israel route. Hey man, I'm sorry, Israel's not sitting here like man. No, we got too much money in play. We're not worrying about him now. Now you, Candace. Now hold on. Now you're sitting here with the books and everything. Now like you telling too much. Like
yeah.
now,
Do you think
and both
Candace?
of them was on Jubilee. This is why I say it too. Like that's the difference. Like you gotta see the difference.
I know it's like really interesting to see like what happened to Charlie because like less than a year ago he was literally on Jubilee talking about like the Trump administration and like vowing for him as um the lead for the Republican Party and like now all of a sudden he's no longer here and like and also at the beginning of his administration, at the beginning of Trump's administration too, because like if you look at it, there's also been a lot of conversations about like, wow, like nobody's talking about the Epstein files nearly as much after the Kirk assassination. And like,
Exactly. It's always something else. And like how you were just saying, like literally the 2 weeks before all that happened, it was like Donald Trump name popped up in the file. They said like that it was being like withheld, all this and that to literally. Now all of a sudden you have at an event assassination. Then not even just that, you have on football Sunday, you do the funeral. Like and wow, like and I mean I don't laugh at death, but I laugh at like what people do around it because again, if you ever been to a funeral of a family member, you see the woodwork, you see the cats that come out
yeah,
that either gay, they either have something to do with it. And that's why I say prime example when you was talking about like with reconciling and everything, like when they had what Trump and Elon
mhm.
up there sitting there talking to each other, all this and that. And I'm like, this is the same person that sat there and said, y'all president name is on
On the
the
Epstein
list.
files, yeah.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, you here for the yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the craziest thing to me, and that always make me think like, okay, man, if like people in the street can do it, don't get me wrong, I can really definitely see a politician doing it, also especially when money is involved. Like, and
Yeah, but like the fact that Elon made that accusation and like that right there in itself is insinuating that you could or are a pedophile or are engaging in
but
solicit.
why didn't the FBI come to his house? But you have a guy in Arizona that says nothing that even to that remote. Now you have him got swatted by the. I mean, like it's really it's levels. Like people know like again you can turn the tide. You have so many people that follow behind Musk like Elon like they follow behind Trump.
Yeah.
And again, this is another person who he made his own political or he's like, trying to make his own political party or did that go through?
He is, well, he was in the works of creating his own political party. I think it was like the America First Party or America Party or something.
American Party.
Yeah. And then I guess a couple weeks later is when the Kirk assassination happened. And because like it was initially he initially announced it immediately after the Big Beautiful Bill passed. He was like,
Yes.
there's too much fat in this bill, like this is gonna, bankrupt America, this, that, and the other. And then ultimately I think it died down as soon as Charlie Kirk's assassination happened because I feel like there was like a lot of division. And I think that Elon Musk kind of read the room and said, like, okay, I don't want to make a party against Trump right now when one of his best people was just killed. So like, because then people are going to start turning. Like, if you're still trying to push for a political party after somebody just lost somebody that like Kirk, how close Kirk was to the Trump administration, like you kind of gotta assume that there's like some kind of connection there. In terms of like why he decided to back off or step away from that. But I don't know. I think the whole situation is just very odd to me because like the fact that Elon could insinuate something like Trump is engaged with some kind of pedophilia and then go and shake hands with him, it rubs me the wrong way. Like I don't think that I could go and shake hands with somebody that accused me of being a pedophile in front of like hundreds
Again,
of
that's fighting words. Like,
exactly.
either you sitting there,
Exactly.
you gonna like fight against that, or you guys gonna go, yep, yep, like what? Like,
Yeah.
huh? Like, no, if you again, if you not that, every bone in your like, no, I'm showing this. I got paperwork to do this. Like, I'm showing. No, you just be too quiet. Like, oh, huh? Let them say what they want to say. What?
No.
Like, you too,
You
you
could
too
say
calm with
certain
that.
things, but that?
Like, for real. Like, hold on. Like, sticks and stones can break my bones, but that's a whole different matter.
Yeah.
Like, like
Exactly.
I mean, again, like how you said, like people because I know people who don't even don't even take that lightly. I'm one of that. Me, especially being a father. That's why you have to sit here at times and be like, "Whoa!" Like certain things you don't joke about. They're not even as that. Like, why
Yeah.
would that joke even come into play?
Yeah.
Like that's what comes into like when the mind state now. Because hold on, this ain't like the first time this came about. This ain't the second. Like you
Yeah.
got people who, men, multiple times saying about a young factor, and then once you approach about it, you just like so laid back. Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to be like R. Kelly each time. I'm crying, y'all killing me. I'm fighting for my life.
I
Like,
I love that meme. I love that
I,
meme.
I mean, cause that's the only way I can say. Like, I don't know if the man is lying or telling the truth, but you see it. Like that's the passion I'm talking about. But then you just like, no, I'm gonna let people just talk. But they want to say. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, if you know your truth and all this and that.
Yeah.
But if you know, like, you're not even answering to the truth. People ask you, "Hey, Mr. President, what about this?" Yes, I was gonna say vote. Like you didn't even like answer the question. You just went around it literally. Or then if somebody do approach you about it, you slam them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or you get them X'd out. Like what he was doing. Like he was having certain people from the broadcasting media there. They couldn't ask questions because it was going to be aimed towards that. Like at the press conferences. So
Yeah.
I mean, like again, it's crazy what you do now to really keep certain stuff like in like from that certain light. And I'm just again like it's like my favorite Dave Chappelle skit, like when he's doing as the president, when he said like you just gonna have one day Trump gonna get tired and just release all the secrets. Like, yes, we got the cure to AIDS.
AIDS,
I was
yeah.
sitting here like
And he throws the vial over. Yeah.
like here you go. I'm sorry for the weekend. Like like yeah, it's like yes, monkeys. That was all like I say. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna be coming out in the woodwork because again, like this is a fascinating. I feel like this is the most entertaining, the most entertaining presidential term, like in like the last I want to say like 20 years, because again, like how they had like the scapegoat we had with Trump. I mean, not Trump, with Bush. Everybody was so gung ho, like especially after with 9/11 and everything. Everybody was like, "Oh yes, this is the USA. The USA is going to these so like to make the fight."
Yeah.
Now we're still sitting here again, 20 years later, like literally, like just past last year, 2024 to now, and I mean 2004 to now, and you sit here like, okay, we still have soldiers in that area
Yeah.
who are still fighting for the same mission, fighting those WMDs. You remember that be debunked that they wasn't there.
Yeah.
Still now, like we're in a different presidency. Like They said that when they changed the weapons on you, that's how you know something going on. It went from a WMD to we was finding out about with the oil to now we just waiting for the paperwork to get done, y'all, so we can leave. We're waiting for the ceasefire to get done,
Yeah.
so we can head out. We're gonna do
Yeah.
Desert Storm on y'all in the 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I think the whole, like, especially, I don't know. I personally don't divulge too much into conspiracy theories, but like there are certain things that like are very questionable to me. Like for example, like when we did bomb Iran, saying like with the intent of like, oh, they're developing their own nuclear capabilities and like we're helping out Israel, even though it's like why are we not giving these weapons to Israel and letting them go and handle it? Why are we now directly getting involved? There's just been like a lot of questionable things in terms of like our support for Israel, like especially when uh the Trump or sorry, when Israel went and bombed Qatar, saying that there was like Hamas soldiers in Qatar, even though earlier this year Donald Trump signed a deal with Qatar that he ended up getting like a $400 million plane, and then they're I guess doing some kind of apparently it's not a base. Originally, Pete Hegseth said that they were developing a base here in the United States, but now they're not developing a base, but they're going to have like a co-op, which I don't even know what that means at this point. But then all of a sudden, like, Trump having to call Qatar and say, like, we apologize that Netanyahu did this. This won't happen again, but he was going and striking soldiers. And then there was no repercussions to Israel. Israel still continued to get the same kind of support that they did before that bombing. And I was like, well, they are bombing everyone in their vicinity, and there is no repercussions whatsoever. What is it that Netanyahu or the Israeli government has on Trump that is making him work alongside everything they're doing? There's a lot.
It's a lot. I go. I mean, you'll be sitting there for days, sitting here getting gray, and that's why I mean, I said because I used to laugh and just like looking up stuff like that, but then getting older, and then now like when you're looking in, like when you're in the system, and again, like that's why I tell the people like, no, go out there and vote. Like go out there and get your voice heard because like growing up in the era, like my people are in the NAACP and everything. So I remember when they used to tell you like, yeah, what when thou should not be named Diddy when he was going around talking about the famous like vote or die. I
Yeah.
don't know if like everybody remember that term. Like that was a scary factor. I remember hearing I'm like vote or die.
Yeah.
Like you tell me if I don't vote, they're gonna kill me. Like in this certain terms, I mean that you will see with that. And but I'm like, but again, as the people, we choose who we want to run us, not run us, but who we want to like run for us. And that's why I say I laugh at a lot of times because now when people be like, "Oh well, I hate the president," I'm like, "But y'all chose them." It's not like you sat there and you just picked a random name out of a hat or what.
Yeah.
So like, again, you had something again you liked about this factor. Again, something that draws you like what they do for presidential campaign. Like you got the biggest. I mean, is the biggest winner. And now again, once you see like he's not doing stuff that you wanted, all this and that, or he's going against the whole tide, like it's a whole turn of tides, and now you're sitting there like, hold on, he's been saying this from the jump. He wasn't gonna do what y'all want.
Yeah.
He's only gonna do what he wants to get out of the way to show y'all like, hey, we're gonna get this money back. That's what we need to do first. Y'all keep talking about y'all losing all this. Y'all want money. Y'all want money. Now when I'm sitting here showing y'all how to save this money, you're mad at me, and that's what I was saying earlier about with the pros and the cons. Like,
Yeah, I think what's also frustrating about, Donald Trump and like, the people that are complaining about, voting for him or not voting for him or whatever it might be is like there are a lot of people that sat out this previous election and like were just like, well, I'm not, it's choosing between the lesser of two evils. And I'm like, isn't that exactly what you're supposed to do though, is like go and choose the lesser evil? Like if somebody were to come up to you and say, like, I'm gonna kill 10 people or I'm gonna kill one person, are you just gonna sit there and say, well, I'm not gonna choose? Like you in theory, like they could go and kill 11 people, like all 11 people. You should go and choose who has the best possible outcome for everyone. And I think that's what always frustrates me about the whole, choosing between the lesser of two evils or like regretting not voting or doing the protest vote. Because like right now, I understand the protest vote to an extent, but like when someone like Donald Trump is getting in the office and like saying what he wants to do and like tariff, like seeing the tariffs go across the country and then watching everything like I said, let me let me find the exact message that it was because like when I saw that like hiring was at the lowest that it's ever been in the past like 2 years, I was just like, or not 2 years, it's like 10 years. I was like, how are we even doing this? Like why is this even remotely a thing? Let me see. I'm gonna find this. But I hope I didn't just is this it? Because it was like all over the news. All right. I can't find it right now. But
Mhm.
I was looking for it because there was a specific message. But like I said, we've only added a little over 200,000 jobs this year, right? Like up for the past 10 months. This is the lowest the hiring has been. Like these tariffs are having a material impact on the economy, and we're seeing our economy like really struggle because Donald Trump is so indecisive. Like since April, he's been declaring a trade war on every country that we've partnered with, whether it be Canada, Mexico, UK, Germany, Ch China, Taiwan. Like,
My Gucci man can't even get his Gucci no more. That's how I know it's so for real. And that's how you know, like Trump is like taking no, like it's like when you know you can't walk up the street no more and get your fake Prada bag no more. Like that's real. Like
yeah,
that's really messing with the economy. And I make a joke with that, but I like that shows us like how easy certain certain things and all this that you need over here to really surpass. Because again, prime example, everybody can't afford $1,500 Gucci. But
true.
now when you're in the tournament, but you have these companies and all that, like, hold on. I've been seeing sales, like we've been having more knockoff, more off sale, like of our material and all this going on. How
Yeah,
can we stop this? Well, hey, you have to cut off those ports. You know, hey, the replica and everything is getting sent in from overseas.
yeah,
So what happened to a lot of these companies? And that, I mean, that's what I say to people too. Like, check the stocks. What did Gucci and everything do? With they had this stuff back in the day. They had some stuff pop up with. I mean, you quote me if I'm wrong, but they had some stuff pop up that they put in money towards the presidency. And I'm like, laughing. I'm like, huh? Gucci is like one of the highest sell knockoff sellers on the street that I know of. Like, so I can see that already. Like, okay, hey, to knock off the game, you either get in it or you cut off the competition.
I've seen a lot of companies donate to both parties. I've realized like they want to be in good favor with both parties, which is smart. Like I get it. Like you don't like you can be like, "Hey, like I believed in you. Here's the filings that showed that I invested money into your," and especially with someone like Donald Trump. Also, I finally found it. It says new hirings totaled just 204,939 so far in 2025, off 58% from the same period a year ago and the lowest since 2009. So we have a little over 204,000 jobs that were created, about 205,000 right now. Um, I think that's concerning because like if you're when you're getting into the 2009 territory in terms of like job creation, like the Fed is starting to cut rates now themselves, which means that the economy, like they even said we're in a period of basically stagflation, right? Inflation has gotten a little higher, but job growth has started to show cracks. And the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate, right? It's to control inflation and make sure that unemployment stays below 5%. And so far, they've been able to do that, but they haven't been able to report any of the numbers because of the government shutdown. So, like, now they're flying blind because, like, all of the GDP numbers, the unemployment numbers, the job creation numbers, like, all through August have not officially been announced yet because of the government shutdown. And like a part of me thinks this is another conspiracy theory that I think a part of me thinks that the Trump administration has an or not Trump administration, sorry, the Federal Reserve has another meeting to cut interest rates in at the end of October. I think that they're going to try to wait, or at least like right their before the meeting, to wait to release the data so that when October comes, they would cut the rates first and then kind of deal with the aftermath effects. I think that the Trump administration knows that inflation is starting to really rise and they would hold interest rates at where they are, but he has been begging for interest rate cuts. And I think that we're in a situation where he is now just playing with the numbers, and it's
Like
very
Young Jeezy say, when you're in a drought, you're gonna make the paper go up. And and I mean that's what you do. Like when you withhold, you're either gonna see like who's gonna pay that top dollar for what they need.
yeah.
And like I mean, it's the biggest thing. Like this is what's going on. This is like, okay, yeah, you're gonna show me how much you need this. Like, and I'm like I sucks to say, I hate to say that it really look like it's in the ways of like freaking drug dealing.
Mhm.
But I mean it's really like that. You cut off the market to supply what you want to supply. And I mean, we've seen this multiple times. Like
Yeah.
they did it with the Reagan era. Like you had crack come into the hoods, man, and
Mhm.
everybody thought they was getting rich. But then you found out, like, hold on, Contra was getting some money.
Yeah.
This and that to where's these dollars going to? Now, yeah, oh, I see why this law got signed. Or again, you was just talking beef about so and so just last week, and now you got the port open where you got their supplies coming in.
Yeah.
Like how Sway? Like you and but again, but with politics, it's still people don't understand though. Like people just think because they're politicians, they still don't have a way of moving about life.
Yeah.
Trump is a businessman. Before, first and foremost, with anything, yes, he
Yep.
has some like problems and all that, but Trump is about his business,
Yep.
and like that's one thing you cannot take away from somebody, especially if they use that as a work ethic, and especially now you're in the term of being a president. You're gonna be trying to show that work ethic much more. That's why I'm like, we're getting the version of Trump that you see on The Apprentice. If you don't like what you said, or you're like, hey, okay, you're fired. You're going like, what did he do to the 400 people just recently? just and I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's certain stuff that really that show you like, okay, dang, like what I was saying earlier about, dang, okay, that's a lot of power. That's too much power for a civil servant to have.
Yeah.
Right?
He has consolidated all of the power within the administration and is just now blatantly going here and there and trying to make sure that like he has complete and utter control. And it's very, very concerning. Want to wrap this up, but I want to hear your most interesting conspiracy theory right now, before we end this call or this interview. What is the most interesting conspiracy theory that you're into right now?
Well, I say it's a twofer. It's a
Okay.
twofer. But no, it's all under the same conspiracy hat. The moon landing and Bigfoot. That's two fable tales that I feel like are not fable. Again, especially like with the moon landing. Again, I'm a technology head. I work in the virtual reality. I work in the metaverse. So
Okay.
you really see like the components of like what makes this technology. So you just sit here and tell me that in the 60s that you had a camera that was able to sit here and go many millions of light years away to transmit back to Earth in the term of 1960. Wait, we went to the moon in 1969. Yeah, we went to the moon in 1969. Yeah, so we went to the moon in 1969, and you're telling me that we're sitting here having damn near black and white contrast from a camera that's like, who posted the camera? That's the first thing right there that they never answered.
Uh-huh.
But no, that's why I say with that conspiracy, like I just felt like that was too ahead of its time to really showcase that with that fact. But then also with Bigfoot, there's no way in heck you have all these regulations, especially all like dating back to like certain times that they see this hairy mammoth like person creature going through these secluded woods and everything. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand about childhood tales and everything, but if you look back, like a lot of these factions or like these parties
Uh-huh.
are talking about it in different cultures. Like you have the same people like well, yeah, what's a Yeti? Talk about Yeti and stuff, and or you have the famous Sasquatch that the Peru people are, it all originate from different names and everything. But you're telling me just like how you got with the pyramids, each each culture knew about this, and you're telling me that this is fake. and we shouldn't be worried about it. Like no, that like again, I say houseway.
Okay, so question on the moon landing
Mm-hmm.
conspiracy, because this is what I've heard before. I'm not too versed in this. I heard that the reason that they did the moon landing, and they broadcasted it was fake, was in order to get China, which was another superpower at the time, to uh, commit a bunch of resources into doing the exact same thing so that they could go to the United States rather than hyper focusing on like any kind of surveillance against the United States. So in a way, it was a distraction so that China itself couldn't go and have any kind of like couldn't focus their time and energy on the United States. Do you think that's why that they
I mean,
faked?
I asked the prime example. Like, have we have records that has China been to the moon yet?
I think so, right?
I mean, but did they record it? Like, did they show it like how they did the U.S.?
No, I mean, I
That
feel like
that's like that's what I mean. Like right there, like it really showed because I mean, it's certain powers that come into play. Like how you said, like the U.S. Like, oh, hold on, hey, we'll let y'all, we'll let you bring in your toy that you have. It's all made in China. We'll
yeah,
let y'all bring that over state lines and everything. Just let us say we went to the moon first.
yeah,
Like we got all rights to that. We picked up what they did when they went up there. One step for man, now one step for mankind, and they put the U.S. flag in.
yeah,
That was the biggest bully move I ever think I've seen in my life. Like instead of saying like, "Hey, a mankind flag for all men,"
yeah.
no, the U.S. is here, born in the USA, and we got it on the moon. That's how I felt like they did with that.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. That's interesting.
Because you have Woodstock and everything going on. Like it's so many stuff that was a whirlwind that really showed. Because you want to have the people come together. And
mhm.
when you having all this, like you had what Vietnam War, getting ready to like I say start up and all that, but now it's that like you have the world is at a rift. So now when you can sit here and have everybody, oh, yeah, man, we went to the moon, we did it, we did space, but
Yeah.
then we still got people that still poor and are not eating, but we made it to the moon on
I
camera.
Yeah, there's a lot that's wrong with the United States. People that can't eat. There's people that are dying from not being able to afford proper medical care. Like there's over 40,000 people that die because they can't afford proper medical care. Like there's a lot that's wrong with the United States.
But
But that's
we can go around in this damn orbit anytime we want. We can fly on Virgin Galactics. We can sit here and go. We can have Mars tickets. I don't know. Again, I said I'll leave you with this. When you sit here and you have, promise, I'll bring up Elon Musk. When this man was sitting us have, I remember this. I was in high school, 2012, signing up to go to Mars. I
yeah.
don't know if anybody remember that one. They had, like, I think the website is probably still up. That you could sign up to get tickets to go to an expedition to Mars. You have more progress on that than what we will have about homeless people eating and everything in the U.S., which is mind blowing. Which that shows you what the end game. More people are looking at to get out of space instead of what's going on right here in our own land.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably because they know exactly what's going on with the Earth. At some point, there's going to be an expiration date. So trying to figure out how exactly we resolve that when that does become an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I appreciate you, Howard. This was great. Is there
Yes, sir.
anywhere that you want to shout out? I'll make sure to include it in the link, in the description link. But is there anything that you want to shout out before we end this?
Yes, man. Again, yes, this is your boy HT. I was saying on Twitter, get tripping like a kid outside shoes. Thank y'all for rocking with me because I rock with you. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe on this wonderful platform. But not even is that you can follow me all under with the Montclair Howard 702 LV. Everything that has a dial up, RIP to the dial up, everything that has internet, you can find me on under Howard 702 LV. Also, you can check my show out, the Howard Hour Live, which I do every Friday night from Horizon Worlds that's in the metaverse. So if you don't have a headset, you can just type it in on YouTube and it'll still pop up. But yes, it's the Howard Hour Live, all one word like a pimp named Slickback. The Howard Hour Live is where you can check me out at. Man, I got alerts and everything. You can follow what I'm doing in life. Man, getting ready to cover Baltimore Comic Con. So yes, man, come along and see what your boy's doing. But yes, salute to all that y'all do. Stay true at what you do, and hey, be the best at what you do.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Howard.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Talk to you later.